La-di-da and whoop-de-doo. What sort of mood are the boys going to be in today? Is it going to be pissed off as fuck? Is it going to be drunk and excited? Or is it going to be depressed at the state of the world? You guess which one it is. Guess which one it... Guess! Really? Literally, if you're listening to this out loud, guess. I don't care where you are. I don't care if you're on the bus. Out loud, guess. Right now. Go on. Go on, do it.
They're stood in like the middle of an IKEA and they just go depressed.
I don't know, depressed. I don't know. Yeah, that's what I want out of this. That's what I'm looking for. I'm currently tweaking Judd's camera as we go, because I don't know where the fuck he is. He's just turned. He's somewhere else. Honestly, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I actually, like, I'm surprised how little I care about where Judd is right now. In a completely different place that I've never seen before. Just, like, twiddling about with something off camera that could be a bomb. It could be making a bomb right now. I don't know.
Fucking turned into the Riddler from the Batman. I'm in like a hideaway.
Oh god. But yeah, as usually I list off all the things that are coming up in this podcast, but fuck that. Today we're starting with a song. Are you ready for this, Judd? You'll like this, are you ready?
What is this?
Shut up. Wait.
You alright?
Can you hear that?
No, I can't.
You'll hear it now.
Alright.
I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame
in your heart.
On my heart I have but one
desire, and that one is you. No other will do.
Lost all ambition,
the world will never change. I just want to be the one you love.
With your admission that you feel the same. I'll live the goal
I'm dreaming of believing.
Great how out of sync that is. It's really, really good. I thought I could clip this. I thought I could clip this and like use it as a little fun clip on the channel. Yeah. But fuck it, who fucking cares? I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your
Wow, meow, meow. Oh, nice.
Oh, great. Well, I don't know. Thought I'd do a little song. Why not? Fuck it. I heard that song earlier because someone were like, "Well, world's ending. I guess this is a good soundtrack to go over the credits." Yeah. And I was like, "Yeah, I should learn that for when we're all blowing up. I can just like have a little play on that song. It'll feel appropriate." And then
we'll die.
We're all dead. Hopefully.
That's a wrap, folks.
Well, speaking of grass, a couple podcasts ago, Judd's like, what the fuck is this idiot on about? Do you remember when you came over for the last podcast?
No.
And well, fuck you then. And you did. You came over with your car. Look at you, tootle about it. That's what you like. That's how you sound like when you're driving. You go.
That's not the car. I make those noises.
Yeah. And you came over, and I gave you a present. Do you remember this? I gave you just a little present. I thought it'd be fun.
I did. I do remember the present, and I also, the second I started like driving away from the house, I was like, "Fuck, have I got my present?" And I was like, "I can't be honest."
Well, don't worry. I've been looking after your present for you, because what I got was one of those little like chia head fellas that you know, you water them, you leave them in the sun, and their hair starts to grow and things like that. And I thought, it'll be a fun little present. We can give updates on it every week. It'll keep people coming back to keep coming back for Greg. I've just named him that now because I've been watching Taskmaster a lot. Greg Davis. That's his full name. Like, he's got the entire name just the same as the comedian Greg Davis.
He's just called Greg Davis. Okay.
He's just called that. And he's grown a bit. I'll get him down from church. The video version of this podcast you can catch on YouTube, the Streams Badly YouTube channel, or live at twitch.tv/streamsbadly. Even Spotify has a video version now, so if you like the video version, you get to see a little glimpse of him. If not, I'll tell you how his hairs are doing. He looks like an extremely balding middle-aged man. He's just got some tiny sprouts coming out the top of his head.
I came back into the room earlier. I think I was like taking a shit or something. I came back to the words of Jake saying, "Look at him, his little hair's growing out." The little man, and for a second I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, well, that's what I was doing. I was recording that little clip so you can could see.
I've just seen it. Yeah,
but
his little hairs are coming in.
There you go. His little hairs are coming in indeed. I'm trying to alter your fucking thing so that you don't
leave it. Nobody's here. Nobody comes here for quality.
Jesus Christ, this looks awful. Your camera looks absolute shit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and to be fair, it probably will be like this for a fair bit. Do you want me to talk about why I'm up here? It is kind of funny.
I guess I better ask you where you are. I'm so distracted by do you know what it is? I'm so distracted by your shitty camera, but also like I'm in one of those where I'm like, the world is absolutely fucked, isn't it? And I just like, nothing feels like it exists, because how can it exist below the fact that we're all on a burning death path? So who fucking cares about anything? That's kind of the state I'm in right now. But yeah, sure, fucking tell me about where you are.
Well, I'll tell you. Don't you worry about this burning death ball, because Jordan's here to tell you about why he's not in his office. The floor was just rotting away. Just the whole floor in the office. What had happened? What happened essentially is where my house is, just outside of the office that I was staying in. There is sort of like just like a kind of like a slope just outside where like there's like some soil and stuff and some flowers, and it's just a little slope thing, but because it slopes, when it's been raining, the water has been going down this slope and like under the office. So these boards, these big like boards that they're using to like level the floor, have like all rotted and crumbled away. Like these big fucking like planks of wood just completely rotted and just turned to shit.
Fuck's sake. It's so shit like this that just makes me think. Yeah. Oh, just end it all already. Oof. Just end it all already. Who cares? Just more reason to just be like, oh, fuck it. Should we just... you know what? Do you know what would be great? Do you know what I think would be great? Do you know that one episode of Rick and Morty where Rick and Summer, it's in the latest season, Rick and Summer go on that, like, bar crawl of a few planets that are, like, all ending? Can we just get to that bit? where we have that, like, massive party? I'm down. I'm ready for it. I'm prepared. I'm wearing my hat in case it's windy outside, and I'm ready to go. It's really funny, and by funny I mean not funny at all, which makes it hilarious. Of course, I was
sat outside. I was sat outside earlier, and it's really nice weather right now, and I was just sat there having a beer. And I was looking at my car, and I was thinking, you know what? These past couple of years have been pretty good, and I'm looking forward to the future. And my life is okay right now. How long am I going to be able to live that life? I don't know.
Who fucking cares anyway? Why? Why are you doing it?
I'm having fun. I'm having a good time.
Are you?
Yeah, I am. I'd say I'm
that?
I'd say I'm probably actually the happiest I've been in a very long time.
Does it matter though?
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Why?
You idiot. Oh, shut up, you fucking pussy. How about that for you? How about that for you?
It's my meaning of life, Judd. That's what I've been listening to. Speaking of which,
you know what I find really funny is that probably I am closer to like.
I just muted Judd. I'm sorry, everyone. I've just muted him because he's pissed me off. He's just talked over my fancy stinger for a segment, and I spent ages on that. That's fucking. No one can hear him. He's shouting, saying, "Go on, play it." Okay, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it. Fuck you. I'm gonna play it. I'm playing it right now. I promise there'll be plenty of fun things to listen to in this podcast. It's not just me being pissed off at everything ever.
That's what it is. It's just fucking like it's like we're all gonna die. Like, shut up, you fucking pussy. We know we're all gonna die. We just get on with
the meaning of life, okay? And there's been a lot of Buddhism lately. Buddhism is a shotgun versus a sniper, right? I'm talking like Stoicism, pretty much a sniper. Hits something good and hits it hard. Dead on, okay? Buddhism is fucking all over the place. It sprays its philosophy over every type of shit you could think. And it means sometimes it hits on some decent stuff. Most of the time, all the pellets just land in shit. But, you know, so the latest thing I've been learning about is halfway Buddhism, which is halfway between traditional Buddhism, good, and Zen Buddhism. Blah, the worst Buddhism there is. The worst philosophy there is.
Is that like the New Age Buddhism shit?
Zen Buddhism is, you know, when you think of a hippie that goes, just feel, man. Don't
yeah.
That's what that is, basically. Yeah. But it's in China. It's like a Chinese man doing that.
I was just gonna do what you said, but in a horribly racist Chinese accent.
Anyway. Well, I mean, our son, Greg Davis, he's Chinese, so, you know, we can't be racist Chinese by doing a Chinese accent, because he's Chinese.
All right.
Made in China.
So what do we...
No,
we'll get in trouble.
No, so, yeah, that's halfway Buddhism. It's halfway between those, and one of the big things that they say, I'm not just going to try and brush past this quite quick, because there's a lot of interesting shit to tell you about. I've got some, genuinely, weird stories to tell you about later on. Right. It's the idea that if you there's lots of things that are red, the colour red in the world. Yeah?
Yeah.
So, if you painted over everything that's red in the world with white... Yeah?
I'm painting red right now. That's a bit weird.
Oh, you're going against this philosophy then. No. Then, that doesn't mean that red doesn't exist anymore, because you can think of red. You can still picture red, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, even though there's nothing that exists in the world that is red. Now, they use the idea of that to say that conceptualizing things and coming up with ideas and things like that is all fake and like tricksing you. Yeah? Because you can still see something that doesn't even exist in the world anymore. So what you're picturing is not real at all, and you shouldn't trust it. So conceptualizing and coming up with ideas is not a good thing to do. It's not the truest form of reality, and the truest form of reality is the meaning of life to them. Okay? Now, just because it's not... Well, who's to say, just because it doesn't exist, that it isn't real? Those are two different things.
But also, I know that's a real thing, because I've seen proof of it. I've seen it. It's just because it's not there, I've seen it.
Yeah, but that's a concept. I know it's real. You're conceptualizing that it was there. This is what they're trying to say. It's just a little bit stupid, innit, though?
No,
it's just like to say that is just a bit
it was there. I'm not conceptualizing that it was there.
You can conceptualize the concept of past, and it was there previously, and that you can think... So it's like, do you know what I mean? It's like, shut up. That's just stupid. Plus, even if something's not real, even if it's a concept, why does that make it any less important? Can they prove for sure that something that doesn't exist, that you're just conceptualizing and plucking out of thin air that like is an idea that doesn't exist within the world? Does that mean just because it doesn't exist that it's less important and less meaningful? And if so, can you prove that? No, you can't. So that's why you're being stupid. Halfway Buddhism. But something I do like what they say is about time now. If you've been listening to my Meaning of Life segments, you'll know that my main theory on the meaning of life is that it somehow is quite related to time. And what Zen Buddhism, Halfway Buddhism says, is that you have to live in the moment. Forget all about these concepts. So when you're looking at that model you're painting, like, this is fun, and I am painting this red, and it will make it look more bloody by me painting it. I don't know if you're painting blood. What are you painting? Which bit are you painting of it?
I'm painting like drugs, like they're like chemical drugs being pumped into the dude.
Okay. It'll make these drugs look more vibrant. Okay, the idea that having that color on those makes it vibrant. Those are types of concepts that Halfway Buddhism is like, get rid of them. Stop letting your mind be plagued with thoughts like that. Just ultimately experience things within the moment. Those things are a distraction, that are concepts that don't exist. Just only focus on things that actually exist right now. And that's why it says the moment, being in the moment, is ultimately like the best element of time, because that's where you have to be. You can't not be in the present. It's absolutely impossible.
Okay, all right. Well, I agree with that to some extent. Like, I do think a lot of the time people think too much about the future.
Halfway Buddhism doesn't agree with that, even though it agrees with that. Because it also says...
I thought that was the point that we're trying to make.
This is why I don't really like a lot of elements of Buddhism. It's saying to do that, but it's also like, but the past is also important, because that's what makes the present important. Like, the fact that the present can only exist because it's come from the past, and it's only what it is because of what's happened in the past.
Do you know what I think Buddhism is? I think it's a fake philosophy. I think it's a scam. I think essentially what they've done is they've all got together and they've all come out and said, oh yeah, you gotta live in the moment, but don't, and do all this, and like people listen to them going, whoa, you're so insightful, and then they go back home and like, can you believe what those fucking idiots believe?
I think what's happened is the same as every religion, where it starts off well and trying to teach some decent ideas that someone's discovered, and then gets hijacked by people because people start believing it and be like, oh yeah, those are good ideas, and then some cunts hijack it and are like, yes, well that means you're living your life wrong and you should live like this. Do what I say. Do things that I want you to do. Aren't I smart? Listen to my philosophy. Do things like this, which means you're all placid and I can make you do what I want you to do, and I can make more money and be more powerful from this. That's what happens. Fuck that. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. But Buddhism, they don't really have material wealth, do they? They don't. A lot of them put that aside. So.
Judd. It's kind of like how there's Catholics, Protestants, Church of England, all within like Christianity and that. Yeah. There's loads of different like factions, if it helps with your Warhammer head.
War in Buddhism.
So it's complicated. It's not that simple, but basically, traditional Buddhism good. The rest of it. Halfway Buddhism obviously is half. Well, I would say it's more than halfway towards Zen, realistically, but Halfway Buddhism is like mostly crap, and Zen Buddhism can fuck off. It's my least favourite philosophy, because their whole idea is to not think or do anything and just literally be a momentary being, except they're the philosophy that's made the most texts, come up with the most concepts, made the most art, made the most... What are you doing? It's like, if they definitely believe that, they're the worst at practicing it. They're fucking awful. It just... Oh, God. Anyway, moving on from the meaning of life, we've got all sorts of stuff coming up in this podcast. If you've been listening to it, you've been listening for 20 minutes already, but, coming up in this podcast, I gave Judd a tattoo the other day, and I also tattooed myself. Let's follow up on that a bit later. I've been skateboarding a lot. There's a skate park near me, and let me tell you, Judd, it's a breeding ground for a certain type of person. There's Mother's Day and a little fun kind of game, online game that we're going to play, like a little bit like the debate segment that we used to do, but there's a lot of it. Depending on how much time that takes up, that'll probably be the end of the podcast, and then next week you're looking at rating out of 10 a bunch of stuff that piss me off.
Oh, do I?
And we'll
Do
also
I
be
have
talking
anything?
next week about the most fuckboy things we've ever done. Those I mentioned that mostly as a heads up for Judd, so he can like think of stuff.
I've already got it. I've already got it. I didn't even have to think.
So that's what's coming up in this podcast and next week's podcast.
I've got a freak of the week. I've got a freak of the week as
We'll
well.
get to that,
for whenever you want to do that.
First things first, Amaryllis, and also your tattoo. Do you want to recount the experience? It's 2 weeks ago, pretty much.
My little fella, should we see if the camera... Do you want to see if the camera will angle down so you can see him?
No, don't move your camera. Oh, you moved his
It's
camera.
all right. We're not seeing... You're not gonna...
yes, yeah, but he's going to have to put his camera back.
It'll be fine.
So you're going to have to describe what it is as well. The thing is, I'm not...
You can't even really see
I'm
that.
going to change the screen so that I can show a proper picture of it anyway.
Oh, the light's right on it. God damn it.
Describe what it is.
There you go.
It's
just like a smiling little face. It's if you've watched Smiling Friends, if you watch the Smiling Friends show, it's just like a little smiling cartoon face. And it's just like a tiny thing.
Smiling Friends logo, but it's done obviously as it was my first tattoo I've ever done on someone's actual skin. It's absolutely horrific, and that was done last time we recorded a podcast, but it wasn't on the podcast.
Not only was that the first time you done a tattoo on skin, but we were also quite drunk.
Oh yeah. We'd had absinthe before that. Like before we did the tattoo, we had absinthe.
Yeah, we'd fucking drank absinthe. God.
So, I wanted to just ask you about it. Like, what's going on with it? Does it still look the same? Like, is it scabbed over? Like, what's going on?
It did. It scabbed over a bit. So I think it's pretty much here to stay.
So is it still scabbed now?
No, the scabs have come off because it's only a little thing. I forget about it. I forget about all my tattoos. I just forget it's on me. Yeah. And then I don't know. Maybe I'll be laying in bed or something, and then I'll look at my ankle and I'll see I got a little fella on. So
has anyone else seen it? Like, has your mum seen it, or your nan, or anything like that?
No, I don't think anybody knows. No, nobody else knows I have it.
Have you specifically chosen not to tell them because you think they'd be annoyed, or is it just like you just don't really care that it's there anyway, so it's not important to tell them?
Well, it's a bit of both. It's like, and I know for a fact my granddad would be like, "What the bloody hell? What were you doing that for?" And maybe I should because that's funny.
Do you know what you should do? Is like go get him now and get him to do that on the podcast.
I actually can't because then I'd have to move like the light and everything, and that'd be a whole.
That sounds like it'd be worth it.
Well, I'm not because I can't be asked.
That's a better reason.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good. I mean, so it's pretty much just it's currently now how it's going to be for the rest of your life then.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah.
I think you should send me an update picture. But I've now done 3 tattoos on skin.
All right.
I sent you pictures of the other 2. Did you see them?
Yeah, I did have a look at them, yeah.
Because I've done a couple on myself. If any of my family's listening, this will be the first time that they know about it, and that by overhearing. But the first one I did on myself, I would say is worse than yours. But that's because it's first time on myself, and like, you have to feel the pain and kind of deal with all of that sort of stuff, as well as like getting at an awkward angle.
I was gonna say I should imagine like more than the pain, the angle's probably the
that was
annoying
worse.
part.
So I wanted to do a very small thing on my leg because I was thinking I want the angle to be pretty decent, because if it's on my thigh, that's not a bad angle relatively compared to what it could be. So that was the idea, and I wanted it to be really quite small in a very inconspicuous place. Okay? And be something very neutral. Something that's like very like when you're like 90 years old, you can't be that mad at it. Something just a little bit, just for my first one, because I knew it were going to be really crap.
That's what I thought. It's because I'm never gonna like look at that tiny little thing on my ankle and go, "What a mistake! What a life-ruining mistake!" Yeah. In fact, if anything, what I imagine it is like being kind of like pretty old, like 60, or maybe even like 70, and I got, there's some children. I imagine they're more likely to be. I think you don't want children as much as mine, so they're probably more likely to be.
I actually get offended at the thought of anyone having children.
Yeah. So it's more likely to be Madison's or Dalton's kids, but I can imagine them be like, Uncle Jordan, what's that on your ankle? And I'd be like, well, kids, when I was
at this point, it's just like a grey splodge.
Yeah. I got really drunk with my brother, and he tattooed a smiley face on my ankle. And then my Dalton's son would say, "Yo, Gramps, that's pretty gay," and I'd say, "You're pretty gay."
And then you'd beat him and maybe tickle his feet a bit, but not in a too friendly way, but like a little bit menacing way. You'll tickle his feet, and then they'll put you on a list, and you'll kill yourself.
And then the family doesn't come and visit me at the home.
that one got a little bit dark. But anyway, back to what tattoo I did on myself. So on my right thigh, I've got a mole that I've always had, and I thought I could cover that mole up. I could turn that mole into a tattoo. So that's what I did. Did like a really, really tiny, just like unamused face on that mole. And I've now realised that when I thought I would put a little face on this mole, I was going to make it so that if someone looked at me, it would be the right way up to them. And I didn't do that. I've only just now realised that in theory it's kind of upside down. Nice. So when I look down at it, it's the right way up. I've literally only just thought about that. Because when I was doing it, I was too busy concentrating on keeping my lines all right.
Yeah.
But it doesn't change my opinion on it. It's still just like a shitty little thing. I mean, it's like, my perspective on it is like, my body's barely changed. There was like a brown blotch there, and now it's like a black blotch. Like, what? So it doesn't matter, does it? It's the same.
No.
So I don't care about that. And then I got my confidence up a little bit and thought, right, okay, I got this. I can do something else. And I wanted to make it slightly bigger so that my lines kind of were easier to do. If that makes sense. Because if you do a bigger line, not a massive line, still a very small tattoo, still like a centimetre wide. But yeah. So I did a little planet like a Saturn. If you want to see pictures of these, I'll put them up on the on @tweetsbadly Twitter. But I did send them to Judd as well. So I did a little planet, and I think the planet looks fucking good. You know? Have you seen that? What do you think of it?
Yeah. I've seen it. It looks all right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty decent. Yeah. Like it's type of thing that's it's such a simplistic, just line work planet that like you couldn't go too wrong with it. You know?
Yeah.
It's like it's just some lines. It's not very hard at all. But what I will say is that the picture I sent to you, Judd, it looks worse on that than it does now, because once the tattoo's scabbed over and healed and things like that, the detail in it kind of smudges a tiny bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It's done that. Basically, it's the detail in it smudged a tiny bit, which helps because any of my like shakiness is kind of just blurred a tiny bit. You know?
Yeah.
Which has actually made it look better, really. So, yeah, that's that. Tattoos. Pretty cool. Mine's just in the scabbing phase right now. In fact, I think a little bit of one of the scabs has just come off of the planet one.
Oh, yummy.
Delicious. But, yeah, if we do any more tattoos, I'll let you know. They're all right. For some reason, I thought there'd be a big revelation, or like someone would have seen your tattoo, or something like that.
No, I've not even seen it. I pretty much forgot about it. Like the second I pulled away on the drive, to be honest. So
yeah, I forget about mine. As in, I kind of had a similar attitude to you in that I've not been hiding them from people because I'm like embarrassed or like think they'll be annoyed or anything like that too much, but a little bit of that. But it's mostly because I've just moved on and forgotten, and like I don't give a shit because it really doesn't matter. Tattoos, honestly, really don't matter as much as a lot of people think.
Yeah.
But yesterday, I was at my girlfriend's house, and I was taking off my clothes for an unmentioned reason, and
Were you gonna fuck her? Were you gonna fuck her right in her pussy?
She mentioned that she noticed them and just didn't say anything. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. she didn't seem annoyed or anything. And I think and she was one of the people who seemed like she would have been particularly annoyed if I did it. But I think the thing is, one of them like was already a mole, like I said, so it don't matter. And the little planet it's not too bad, you know, so
Yeah.
she even said, I might let you do a little planet on me at some point if you get a little bit better. So like,
Yeah.
I think that's successful.
I think that's
Right.
as good as that could have gone.
Moving on, Judd. It's time for, hopefully I'm pressing the right button right now, this one.
Freak of the week.
That's right, I pressed the right button. It's time for Freak of the Week. This is a segment that Judd started where he tells us about a freaky person that he's met that we're very interested in. Having said that, I've got about six freaks to tell you about.
That's 6 freaks.
So why don't you kick us off, and then I'll tell you about my skate park stories that involve a lot of freaks.
Oh, I bet you got some choice freaks. So my one's like a bit of a disgusting one, and also like a sad one. I've never been
It's
like
you, then.
no, yeah. I've never like actually been refaulted by any of my freaks before. Like they've all
No.
as we know, like we love a good freak on this podcast. We love our freaks. And so when it comes to Freak of the Week, it's less of a look at this freak and more of a look at this freak.
Whoa,
Isn't this
look at
guy
this freak.
interesting? Well, look at this guy. Whoa.
Yeah, whoa.
So, but this
Look at him
this one actually is like, ew, look at this freak. This one today. So maybe that's internet
Christ,
bullying.
okay.
I don't care.
I don't care.
So anyway, I'm on
Sorry,
lunch
Judd's
break.
camera's going to disappear just slightly while I tweak something, but you'll still hear his audio. Don't
Okay.
worry about it.
I'm on break at work, and also really quickly, I just want to give a big shout out to Leeds because Leeds has been providing
Leeds in general.
Yeah, no, just
Just the
Leeds in
city of
general,
Leeds.
just Leeds in general because it's got a good wealth of freaks. There's a lot of weirdos in Leeds, so I just want to say thanks because you provide us with some good content, Leeds. So well done. But anyway, so I'm walking around in Leeds. And I'm just sort of walking through the main town centre bit where like all the nicer shops are. Because you got a bit like where's the market, and then you've got a bit where it's like TK, I don't know, fucking TK Maxx and nice shops and shit. And this guy rounds a corner, and I swear to God, you know the boomer from Left 4 Dead?
Yeah.
The big fat fucking boomer. He looked like him. Just
Jesus,
with,
a big fat grotesque zombie.
Just without the boils. Well, with some boils, less boils. So anyway,
God,
this
he had
this
some
guy,
boils.
he had a couple boils. He had some boils on him. He wasn't as boily, but there were some boils.
He wasn't as boily. What a sentence.
Yeah.
He wasn't,
Yeah.
he wasn't as boily as a grotesque zombie
Boils
creature.
Boils were present, but
He was
not
partially
in
boiled.
such quantity.
He was-
Yeah. So anyway, Boyle man, Boily walks.
Derek Boyleman.
So anyway, Derek Boyleman fucking rounds this corner just ahead of me, and I immediately I think, the first sort of thing that goes through my head is, ew, gross, and then I was just prepared to like keep walking, but this dude, he stood there in the middle of this high street, and as he's standing, he just starts going, and just starts throwing up. And just starts throwing up right there in the middle of this busy street.
What
and
time?
it's
What sort of day? Time of day?
1 in the afternoon.
1 p.m. on a weekday.
Half 12. You know, it would have been. I will have just been
just
so,
after
yeah. So half 12.
midday on a weekday then.
Yeah.
Oh man, that guy's down bad though.
Yeah. And anyway, so I thought, oh my fucking God. And I like started walking past him, and I like stopped in my tracks, and I like in my brain I went, follow him. It'll be really good for Freak of the Week. just like slowly turned around, like predatory gaze fixed on this fat dude that's like stood there going, and I'm like, yes. So
I am witnessing glory right now.
so, I like how this podcast has slowly turned me into Nightcrawler. Have you ever watched Nightcrawler?
Yeah.
Yeah, when he's like fucking with crime scenes and stuff to like get a better story. It's like, this podcast turned me into fucking Nightcrawler. Anyway, so I followed him a bit. I followed him a little bit, and he like stopped like a couple of times to just stand there in the middle of the street. Well, I say in the street, I mean like the sidewalk, the pavement. And to just stand there and throw up.
I
and
want a better picture of this guy. Is it what sort of age is he? What age? How old does he look?
30s.
30s. Okay, that's a shame, isn't it?
Early 30s.
Oh god. Okay.
Early 30s.
How skin tone? I'm drawing a police sketch here. I'm gonna convict him.
Caucasian. Sickly
Hair?
Caucasian.
Hair?
Thinning, but there.
Thinning color.
Black.
Thinning black. Any facial hair?
None.
Thank God for that. Can you imagine it all getting stuck in there? Oh,
yeah,
Lord.
yeah.
So when we're talking weight-wise, are we talking like my 600-pound life?
Bring up the picture of the boomer from Left 4 Dead.
It's literally
exactly
like,
that.
So probably 400 plus pounds easily.
Yeah.
Right.
So
God, and then walking speed. God.
Oh, yeah, fucking! I wouldn't call it walking as much as
waddling
glumping.
speed.
Glumping would be the. I don't know if glumping is a word, but glumping feels right.
Was it this guy? Was it literally this guy? This is a guy in boomer costume from Left 4 Dead, but he's just dressed as it just because he's fat.
Essentially, just that, yeah.
Okay, and then when he's being sick, is he like bending over? Because obviously it's a bit hard.
No, he's standing there. He's standing
so is it like
erect.
going down him?
No, it's like sort of mid projectile in. And it's clear. And it's clear. It's clear. It's not like junk or anything.
He's really a boomer then, like from Left 4 Dead. He's like, that's because otherwise it'd be like puke's normally orangish, isn't it? Maybe a little bit like yellowy greeny. Sometimes normally orangish from my experience. So it was clear. I know people can have what's it called where it's you sort of bring up bile acid reflux. I know some people. I think that's different levels. I think it's different. No, but what I'm trying to say is, I know people have something like that where they sometimes bring up bile, but it wasn't that. He was like vomiting. He was like vomiting it out. Fuck. So anyway, I'm like worried for this guy still. Like seriously. But do you know what I was thinking? And until you said that, I was thinking he's done what I've done a lot of lately. I've been getting fat. I've been getting big old fat belly. And a few times I've eaten myself until I threw up. I'm not. It's embarrassing. I don't want to admit it, but that has happened. I don't mean like recently necessarily. I mean it happened one time recently, at least. But in my past, I have done that, and I'm thinking this guy, if he's massive, he might be a bit prone to doing that. But that can't be that then, because if he's just like puking up bile. Well, no, listen to this. So I'm there hiding in the fucking bushes. I'm parting the bushes so I can like get I've got like my big IMAX camera ready, like filming this fucking fat bastard throwing up. And so I see him anyway. He walks into a Sainsbury's, and I'm like, oh my god. He's in like a shop. Is he just gonna like throw up around the shop? Is he just gonna like not care and throw up in the shop? I gotta go in. So I went in after him, and I'm like very like nonchalantly like pretending to like look at stuff on the shelves, like, oh yes, ramen. I'm there for the fat fuck. And so anyway, I like lose him a bit in Sainsbury's. I'm like, where is he? Where the fuck? I've lost him. And anyway, I smelled him before I saw him. No. So to paint a better picture, I went, got him. Anyway, I walk around, and he stood there looking right at all the booze, and he leans down and he picks up a 4-pack, looks at it, and goes, yeah. And then walks like to the audibly said, counter. Yeah. like actually said,
and like audibly went, yeah.
"Oh no." I feel bad though now. At this
And
point,
I'm not.
I don't feel
It's
bad
like-
about like laughing or anything. I just like,
Yeah.
I hope this guy's got some help, you know.
Yeah.
That's
Because it's at
far,
the same
innit?
time, it's like what's happened for you to get to a point where you're throwing up in broad daylight in the middle
Well-
of a city centre. It's you know, and then after that, you still walk into a Sainsbury's, pick up a four pack, and go, yes.
What I would say to that is, cheers everyone, if you're drinking along with me.
Fucking cheers.
I didn't even know you had the Fosters. I didn't even know you had a beer too. Oh god, you know what the thing is? Do you know what's actually quite scary is? I could see myself getting to that point.
I can't see you getting to that point.
I feel in my heart I could. Well, I mean, my heart would probably conk out before I got there, but I feel in my heart of hearts that I could manage that. I could do that. Because
I don't
see,
know. I feel
world's
like
so
you'd
awful,
become.
and I don't want to set it on fire, but I do want to put a fire in my own heart because I want heartburn from eating loads of like shite and drinking loads. Because
Nice.
that's at least a little small thing that I can grasp and enjoy out of life.
Great.
Nice. Do you know the philosophies that I'm moving on to? I'm moving on from the classical era of philosophy, meaning of life study, to the modern era, and one of the big ones of that is skepticism. Basically, being negative about everything.
You've been doing that
Make me
since
come,
fucking
that is.
day one.
I'm gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna be like,
Everything's terrible.
it's all so bad. But yeah, it is kind of because I genuinely used to think if I saw anyone who would like close to that, I used to think not particularly negatively. Like I just thought, I mean, that's you and you've done that, and I'm not like negatively judging you, but I could if I was ever like that. I would feel like complete shit being like that. Now that's not to say that I think someone else should feel like that if they were like that necessarily. But for me to feel like that, I would feel awful. That's historically what I would feel. But now, I just kind of think, why does it fucking matter anymore? It's like nothing, I don't know what matters or what I want to do anymore. So, like, I don't know, you know? I don't fucking know. That could happen. I could easily see that happening to me now. But I'm working on it, you know? I'm trying to figure out the meaning of life. So once I find it, you know, you never know. He might have found it, and that's why he's looked at that and gone, yes.
Yeah, you said it on the tin. It was on the tin. I should have looked at the fucking tin. I could have told you what it was.
That's not what I meant. I didn't mean that the meaning of life was written on the can.
No. I think it was genuinely written on the tin. Like the answer was there, and that's why I probably went, yeah.
Well, maybe we'll have to follow up with that guy and ask him what profound philosophy is discovered. Jesus Christ, that was a ride.
In between the vomit.
Yeah. Oh my god. So he did that. Did you follow him any further? Was that it? Did you just once he left the shop? Did you?
That one scene made me too sad to want to continue following him.
That was a breaking point.
Because that I saw that and that just painted a picture of like his entire life. You know, I was like, right, okay, so.
Yeah,
I didn't want to then continue, and also I was on break and I did need to get to work at some point. I couldn't spend my entire day following a fat man around Leeds.
Worth it, am I right? So he didn't puke in the shop then.
Not in the shop, no. He didn't puke in the shop. I suppose he had
that's a shame because that would have been added drama, I suppose.
Yeah,
but okay, I cannot live up to that. I thought my skate park adventures would do. I mean, for me, that was quality, not quantity. Whereas this is quantity over quality. I've been skating, right? I turned 25 recently, and I'm having my midlife crisis because, let's be honest, I'm probably only halfway through. We're all going to die anyway, am I right, folks? Yeah!
Yeah!
So, this is where you're supposed to have your midlife crisis
just before I start, why do you fucking listen to this podcast? Listens to this?
Who are you talking to?
Just the audience, like genuinely, just like the audience. Why are you listening?
The city of Seattle, you mean?
Yeah, the entire city of Seattle.
Oh, great inside joke. Anyway,
What do they talk in Seattle? What's their like?
what do they talk in Seattle? What
What
do they talk in Seattle?
I said, what do they talk like? I must have cut
What do
out.
they talk like? Canadian.
You like? Is that where that is? Canada? I genuinely thought Seattle was in America. I'm not
It
even
is.
kidding. I thought it was in America.
I tried to trick
Oh.
you. It's Seattle. It's I think it's. Is it near Washington? No, it might be the other end. I'm not sure.
Is it like the stereo? So it's not. It's not even a fun American.
Washington State.
It's not. They've not even got a fun American accent. Then they've just got the normal American accent.
No, it's. I would guess it's pretty standard.
Our audience fucking suck.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is this podcast.
Yeah. You think Obama listens to us?
No, he doesn't live in Seattle. No way.
Those kooky boys are trying to find the meaning of life against.
You can't do that. You can't do that one.
I can't do an Obama voice.
Skatepark stories. Let's do skatepark stories. That'll be fun. I've been skating because I've had a midlife crisis, and I was like, "Look, sunny weather. I'm going to skate about." And I'm going to be honest. I've been actually genuinely loving it. It's been so fun.
Yeah.
And the main thing is because I thought I'll listen to my philosophy. I'll skate about, and I discovered very quickly I can't do that. I have to focus. Like, I have to, like, really focus on what I'm doing when I'm skating. And I love it. I love just focusing on one thing at once and no one can interrupt me or anything like that. I'm just doing, like skating about, and I can't say I'm doing tricks yet, necessarily, but, you know, it's just like an hour to two just taken out for myself, and there's like because you're concentrating so hard on something, it feels like the worries are washing away. I'm just having, and it sounds so hippie and like typical skateboarder to say that sort of thing, but it really does feel like that. But the closest skate park to me, it's not massively close, but it's like a really short drive. I just do a little drive. It's maybe 5 minutes drive. It's in a rough area. It's it's on the edge of a field, but it's like kind of next to the road a bit, if that makes sense. It's in a bit of a rough area. And do you know what? The most annoying thing is there's fucking glass everywhere. It's one of those where a bunch of youths just go there and like smash a bunch of glass bottles and shit and chuck shite all over, because not many people utilise skate parks for skating things in our country. It's not a big skate park at all. And it's just a bit like we never did that. Did you ever? Do you remember being a youth and like just fucking things up for the sake of it?
No, not really. I mean, I can't even think of anything like terrible along the lines I did of that.
If we ever did anything like smashing something, it would never be on a skate park or a playground, it would literally be in like abandoned waste ground or something.
Tell you what, it'd be over each of us heads if we were smashing it.
Yeah, if anything, it would be that. Literally, the most famous time we've smashed things is like on each other, and we offered to clean it up. So like, I just don't get it. I don't get it. Like, what? They don't get anything out of it. It makes no sense. They just, I don't know. I guess they're angry at the world or whatever, and they just smash things because they're too stupid to deal with it.
Maybe that's the meaning of life.
It isn't. They're too stupid. They're too stupid to deal with it in a sensible way, like starting a podcast to complain about how shit the world is. Am I right? So,
ladies.
Ladies.
I don't know.
That's a big.
You can't get that. It was just nothing.
It really got me. It's out of nowhere. Just imagine you're like at the club and like for like most of the time they're hanging on your every word. You're saying a bunch of stuff that's really interesting, all these like really hot girls, and then you say, and then these little cunts, they chucked a bunch of like glass on a skate park. They must be angry at the world, and they didn't deal with it in a reasonable way, like starting a podcast. Am I right, ladies?
All right,
and
ladies.
At that point, they all leave.
And then they're all already gone when I've said podcast.
that's the bit. Like, they've been on your every word for a few hours, and then you say that, and then Fuck. Anyway, so that's annoying. I went and last time I went there, I brought a broom with me to sweep up all the glass.
Yeah.
And there was some kids on there Like, one of them were scooting about, but, you know, they were mostly just, like, doing the TikToks and all that bollocks. I don't know. So I was sweeping up for ages, like a good hour. And one of them helped me at one point. I was like, he said, "Oh, thanks for cleaning glass." And I'm like, "Oh, it's all right. Do you fancy helping me a bit? My back's killing me." And it was. I weren't just like... But I also thought, getting a kid involved slightly with, like, this mildly good deed just normalizes it that bit for him, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just like... And that's all I spoke to him. I'd rather there be no kids on the park for all I care. But...
So it was a kid then, not like a teen, or it was like a...
Well, he might have been maybe 13 or 14 for all I know. Like, kids that age to me look like they're 5 at this point. Like, I'm 25, I'm an old man. So, I don't fucking know. He looked really young to me. But, I don't know. So, I did that, and I was sweeping for ages. I sweeped enough to make a decent amount of this very small skate park, like, usable.
Yeah.
So, I did that. But not the last time when I did that. A time before then, I went on a Sunday, and overall, it was absolutely glorious. I went at about 11 o'clock, because I was just, like, antsing to go there. My stepdad was even, like, cooking, like, some chicken or something for lunch, and he was like, "Oh, you having any?" I was like, "Nah, I want to go skate park." So I just did. I was like, "Nah, I'm not eating your food." Plus, his food's shit. It's quite bland. So I went to skate park and I was skating about, and it was great, and I was in the sun and I skated about for loads of time, and I was like, "Oh, you know what would be great? I'm really hungry right now. It's about 2 o'clock. I'd been there a couple hours. It took me about an hour to get there because I walked, and then I was skating about for a couple hours. And I'm like, I'm gonna go a pub. I'm gonna go pub. And I went to the pub,
Okay.
had a couple pints, and I had myself a steak for lunch.
Nice.
Ooh, steak and chips, a few pints, just watched some Taskmaster on my phone, sat on my own, having some pints, having some steak, no one disturbing me, or anything like that. I just skated about in the sun, had myself a nice meal and a beer. Oh, what a glorious time. Now that is what dreams made of. But while I was skating about, with these two fellas that I want to ask you about, because you know about drugs, am I right?
Listen, I've been around the block, you know, yeah.
This is why I want to ask, because I'm one of the people who's been least involved with drugs that you could probably know. So there were these, and I'm suspecting some sort of drug deal might have been wanting to happen.
Yeah.
Where the skate park is, there's a little bit of like a dip down hill, like a man-made kind of hill thing. And then there's like an Iceland shop and some buildings, like kind of close to it. And I was just skating about on the skate park on my own. And there were these two guys who were like, they were just kind of like hanging out together at the bottom of this hill, and they'd come up sometimes to the top of the hill. It's a very small hill. It's only about like, I don't know, 5 feet hill. I don't know. And they were just fucking like, I guess loitering. I don't know. They were just kind of going up and down this hill and like looking around sometimes and like seeming nothing. And they were like looking at me a lot, and I was just like, I'd glance at them every so often because when you can feel someone looking at you. Yeah. And I was just like, I'd glance at them and like, oh, they're looking at me again. And then I'd skate down my ramp and do my things and like just skate them out, and I'd go like, these guys are looking at me again. And it was just kind of like that a lot. I was like, the fuck are these guys doing? They looked like my age, or maybe close to your age. They looked like early 20s.
Well, yeah.
And I'm thinking, the fuck are you doing with yourselves? You just kind of stood around a hill. What are you doing? And I guess I either want to ask you, do you think they were involved in something shady, maybe to do with drugs or something? I don't know. And if so, if not, like what? If they're not, like, what are you doing? You know,
it sounds less to do with drugs and more to do with like, I don't know, maybe seeing if there's anybody that think they could fucking nick some off her. Because it sounds more like they were sizing you up, if anything. It didn't feel like, because like
midday in broad daylight on a Sunday, in like surrounded by like houses and stuff, and also there's like a community support center with like pseudo policemen like right opposite it.
That's exactly why I think it's less likely to be a drug deal, because a lot of dealers are very paranoid. If they want to do something, they want to do it like out of the way. So they don't want to do it like in a skate park where people are fucking riding about and there's cops nearby and stuff, and it's out in the open. They want to.
That's the thing though, Judd. They're already stupid enough to deal drugs. So do you know what I'm saying? This is like when someone's looking into true crime and they're like, well, and they're looking into what a serial killer's done. They're like, well, you wouldn't do that, would you? You know, when they say things like, you wouldn't do that. Like, why would you do that? And like, they're already willing to serial murder. Like, you can't think logically with these people.
I'm telling you from my experience in the criminal under empire of Barnsley that most of the time people aren't going to do that. So I'm not saying there's no possibility at all. I'm just saying that, like, for me, it doesn't sound like one. It just sounds, I don't know, like a couple of guys being weirdos for whatever reason.
Maybe they were sizing me up then. I'm not sure, but I just sort of think I'm on a skateboard, right? I don't know if actually I'm good enough to do this at the minute, but I can probably skate away faster than you can run towards me. Like, it's got wheels, you know? There's that for a start. Plus, my car wasn't there. I'd walked on this occasion. But there's like a housing estate right there and like a medical centre and stuff. I could just run over to that. I don't think they're going to be able to do anything quick enough. Like, what are they going to do? I don't know. It was just weird.
It just, I don't know. It didn't say. It just sounds like a couple of guys being a bit weird, to be honest.
Just a couple of guys. Just a couple of
guys.
Speaking of a couple of guys, though, those weren't the weirdest couple of guys that I saw. In fact, you know what? I'm piecing things together. These might have been the same guys I'm about to tell you about. They're wearing different clothes on a different time. I think I'm not sure if it was a different time on the same day.
People do that, you know, Jake. People don't just always wear the same clothes. Or it's not like Simpson.
What?
Because you're like getting confused with like these people because they're wearing different clothes. I just like to imagine in your brain, you're just like, wait a second.
It's like a dog. It's like no. I was skating about, and I went down the big ramp, went up this little ramp, and when I got to the top of this ramp, I saw two lads just, like, not running, like, jogging, while holding, like, a big white, like, box. Like, a big white... What's the version that's like a rectangle but a cube? Like a 3D rectangle. What's that? Is it still a cube?
A trapezium? That's all
right.
right.
No, we are really dumb right now.
Yeah,
it was a big red 3D a big white 3D rectangle. Fucking hell. And it was massive. It went quite the dimensions of a fridge, I thought, but it was similar sort of size, and they were just like not running, but like nearly running and walking very fast across this field, just carrying this thing. And I just stood on top of this ramp, just watching them go. This is a really big field, by the way. It's like 2 football pitches back to back. It's a really big field that this skate park's on the edge of, and I was just like watching them go, like not fast, but like faster than expected.
Yeah.
And then at some point they stopped in the middle of the field, and they were like, oh god, I'm fucked. I couldn't hear what they were saying, but I could see them panting and like and one of the guys ran off to get help while the other one were just stood leaning on this thing. So they didn't seem to have much urgency, and I think they were probably stealing someone's fridge, but I don't really know. I don't know. I was just kind of watching them do it, and I'm thinking, those guys still in a fridge? I don't know. I don't really care.
Sir, is your refrigerator running?
This is the thing, right? When I'm skating about on the skate park, I'm not going to give a shit about anything. I'm skating about, okay? I might see something, but I've got no response to it. I'm skating about, okay? That's all I'm doing.
It's like that scene in the second Spider-Man movie where he's like decided to stop being Spider-Man, and he's like there's like a car chase happening, and he like watches it and he's just eating a hot dog.
Well, for me, he shows some emotion there, whereas I was looking at these guys doing this, like, completely emotionless. I just watched them for a moment going, those guys are running. And then I turned around and skated about more.
Nice.
That was about it. But There was one guy who wasn't happy with me just observing.
You actually, when you turned away, you missed. I actually fell out of that fridge and I just started running. I was like completely naked. They're like, "Oh, get him! Get away!"
Like some hangover shit.
Yeah.
Someone I observed didn't like me observing them. And I understand why.
I think that's a fair reaction.
And this was one of the ones that maybe I maybe should have done something about. I don't know. I was skating about, just me on a skate park, I think. Might have just been me. And this lad, he looked young to me, but not like really young. He might have been maybe, to me, it looked maybe 15, maybe 16. Something like that. And he were walking down the street with this girl. He walked around the corner, and he were like shouting loud. He was like shouting at her, and like she sat on this wall, and he were like shouting at her while she were on this wall, and he like kicked this fence really hard, like right next to where her head was, and he kicked it hard because it was loud, and they were across the road from the skate park, and they were. Like put it in meters, they were maybe like 150 meters away, maybe just around 100 meters away, something like that. If you want to know how much that is in feet, you stupid Americans, then look it up. Fuck you, Seattle. Anyway, and he did that, and as soon as he did that, I was picking something up when he did that, and I stood and I just looked at him for a minute. And thought, you fucking moron, what are you doing? That's what I was thinking. And he saw me, and I honestly, mildly offended by what happened, but he saw me looking at him, and this has never happened to me before, and he said, shouted across the road to me.
Okay.
He said, what are you looking at, fat boy? I've never been called fat by a stranger before. I was deeply hurt.
Fat boy!
Do you know what? I genuinely looked down at my belly and went, oh yeah, I am a fat boy. Oh yeah, that's me.
I love to imagine that you're so used to not being and then going, what? I'm not. Oh.
I kind of like. It kind of was. I've literally never been. I've been this fat a lot, but people, they don't call you it, do they? So I was like, fat, and I looked to myself like, oh yeah, that is me. I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, I guess that is true, I suppose.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when that thought process went through my head, it became way less offensive. I was like, oh well, I guess that's just true.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, I guess for most people it'd be the opposite of that, but to me I was like, I guess that's just a fact rather than something that's offensive at this point.
I can't be mad at him because he's right.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, I'm like that fat old guy who skates in the skate park. All right. Then, I don't know. They like walked off after that because I guess they didn't want to be in a scenario where people could see him. And at that point,
where fucking fat boy was staring at him.
At that point, I kind of just wanted to be like, I don't know. At that point, I felt a bit like, I don't know, something shitty's happening to like this lad's like potentially abusive or something.
Yeah.
Maybe I should have said something or like I don't know, but. Equally, it's a rough area, and everyone's shit in the world, and I don't have to give a fuck, really. Plus, I don't know. It's not my business. I don't know what's going on, really. So I was like, you know what? I'm skating about. That's all I do. I'm just skating about. I'm the fat old guy who skates about. That's all I'm doing.
She could have just, shot his kid. You don't know.
You don't know.
I mean, she probably didn't. He's probably just an abusive arsehole, like, cunt, but,
Yeah. If you're that guy and you're listening to this podcast, my only advice to you is just chill out a bit, maybe. Just chill out a bit. Might be alright. I'm not specifically meaning with this girl, just maybe chill out in general. Bit, I don't know. Whatever you want.
Hey, dude! The woman beating. Chill out!
Sound like fucking Alex Wasabi reference that Judd won't get. Okay, it's come to that point in the podcast where I'm desperate for a piss. There's lots more to come, stay tuned, but in this tiny, mild break, Judd's going to tell you about the model that he's painting. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, God, I hate these fucking segments. None of you people want to hear about the shit I'm painting. Right, okay, I guess I can talk. I've got a tournament coming up for my Nerd Warhammer shit, so I'm painting how many models have I got in this army that I need to paint? I think I've got 36, 37, something like that, models that all need painting for Sunday. They're mostly done. Just I'm just sort of I'm just picking out individual bits on each models and sort of just doing that process over and over again for every model instead of just painting a model fully and then moving on to the next. And currently I'm painting little drug files that are being shot up into this guy's arms and shit, which is very nice. That's very nice imagery. If you want to look at the models I'm painting right now, if you actually care, which I'm guessing you probably don't, they are called Racks. WRACKS. If you type in Racks Warhammer, you'll see what I'm painting right now. Now I'm going to be silent until Jake gets back. I'm not going to do that.
You've stalled, haven't you? I can see. I
stalled.
I'm going to propose something to you, Judd. I'll tell you the last skate story I have, which is probably the most interesting. I've definitely got enough content for 2 podcasts to record in this session. Should we do that?
No.
Okay. Anyway.
Because it's very hot in this room and I'm very tired.
Well, my last story from the skate park, and being as I might be doing a lot more skating recently, I might have to make a little jingle for that, is I was skating about.
Okay.
On Monday. Yeah, I was skating about on Monday. On a Monday night, I'd swept up all the glass, skated about. It had gotten dark, right? It had gotten definitely dark, and it was 7 p.m. It's not late, but, it had gotten dark. I was definitely the only one there at this point. Kids had gone. There weren't anyone on the field, anything like that. And this fucking boomer from Left 4 Dead looking motherfucker. No.
Oh no, he's back!
He's back! Oh no, it was just, it wasn't that big. He was fatter than me, definitely, but he was big enough to waddle a bit, put it that way. Came round the corner, and he opened the gates to the kids' play area that's right next to the skate park, and I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, why do you have to go in there? And just went and sat on a bench in the kids' playground in the dark, all to himself. And at this point, I was thinking, oh, for fuck's sake,
this is late at night? Is this late at night? Are kids about, or...?
There's no kids about at this point.
Okay.
It's not late at night, it's 7. Like I said, it's 7 p.m, but it was definitely dark. It was fully dark. There's a street light right next to the skate park, so I can still see everything I need to see and skate about for me. So yeah, he went and sat in there, and I was just thinking, I don't want to be aware that there's a fella in a kid's play area when it's dark. What's going on there? Why does anything have to be going on there? Just a bit
See now. That sounds like a drug deal. That sounds like he's waiting for drugs.
Well, I'll get to that.
Okay,
My first thoughts was, I hope he's not meeting up with someone to diddle. He better not be. I'm going to be really annoyed, right? If I have to go out of my way to report a diddler or something he's going to put a right dampener on my skate sesh, right? That's what I was thinking. But I slightly changed up what I was doing on the skate park so that every so often I could check if he was still there. So I was going up and down this ramp, these sets of ramps most of the time, but as I was doing that, my view was obstructed of where they were, so every so often I'd skate a lap of the skate park to practice skating along, getting some speed up, things like that. It's something I genuinely wanted to practice, but it also let me look at the bench where this fella had sat down. He were there a good 15 minutes before anything changed. Ghost Hand says, to be fair, I had my fair share of drunkenly going to a playground to go on a swing because I'm a dumb child at heart. Swings are rad.
that being said, oh shit, I've knocked my headphones out again. That being said, I have both given and received fellatio in a child's play park.
You really should. That's not true. He's joking, aren't you? Because that'd be illegal if it was true.
That'd be super illegal, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not true.
It's super
I'm not
true.
winking at the camera, you are. You're winking at the camera. I'm not doing that.
Who's going to report me for that, for having consensual sex with another man? We were both
in
drunk.
public. In a
Yeah,
play
it was
area.
it was like past midnight, and also we were both drunk.
It don't matter what time it is. Indecent exposure in public is still illegal.
Yeah.
Having said that, I've
It was
pissed
hot-
a
it was
lot of
hot,
times right in the middle of the street, so that's nice. Anyway,
Yeah.
carrying on. I was like, my first thought was, just don't be diddling, right? Because that's going to be really annoying. So he was there about 15 minutes, and I'm allegedly, and I'm thinking, he's just kind of sat here. I don't think any kids are coming. I think this is harmless but weird, but I'm still going to keep looking just in case, you know?
Yeah.
And then these two youths that are walking down the path, they looked about maybe 16, 17 to me. And I'm thinking, this might be what's going down. He might be buying some drugs off these youths. If that was the case...
Or vice versa.
If that... yeah, the other way around. If that was the case, I still can just give a fuck just as much as I was doing right now. I don't care. I'm skating about. Fucking, if you're gonna like go and kill yourself on drugs, to me, I can still skate. So that's what I was doing.
I don't give a fuck. I'm about that skate
But they sat on a bench complete opposite side of this. It wasn't a big play area at all. Complete opposite side. I was like, oh, okay. And I just, again, carried on.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, this still could be the case. They might just be waiting for me to move on. They might have figured all this out. But I also kind of had in the back of my mind, probably not. I don't think people think to this level of detail when they're arranging these things. So I thought, well, probably not a drug deal now, but I still don't give a shit enough. So I'm just skating still. And then it does raise a question what actually happened, but I'll get to that at the end. What ended up happening, like, not long after those lads had sat down, maybe 5 minutes, an equally tubby lady in pink, like, pajamas came round the corner and went up to this man and like, are you gonna come back inside now or what? And I was like, oh, I see what's happened. This man's had enough of his fucking missus and he's come to sit outside. That's what's happened.
Oh, the poor guy. He was enjoying his alone time just as much as you were.
Yeah, that's all that was happening. I'm so glad. I'm so glad that's all it was. He was like, no, I'm not. He just fucking, I'm staying out
said,
here.
no, what a king.
Yeah,
what an
like,
absolute
no,
fucking
I'm sitting on my
king.
bench. Like, you know,
like, no.
like,
It's on his bench.
Chilling
Folds
out.
arm, looks strong.
The whole thing. That's all it was.
Oh,
I liked that. It does raise the question of what were the youths doing there, though?
They
I
were
suppose
probably
youths
doing
do
drugs.
that,
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. But I just liked the fact that it kind of has a happy ending. That weird story. But there you go. That story's from the skate park. What do you think of that, Judd? Do you think that's a good little segment?
Nice. We'll label this segment "Tales from the Skate Park."
I mean, stories from the skate park for the alliteration, but
No, but "Tales from the Skate Park" is a riff on "Tales from the Crypt."
Tales from the skate park.
Tales
Sorry,
from the Crypt. Yeah.
Well, that's a
I'll do the
podcast.
voice. If you want, I'll do the voice for the jingle. I'll go "Tales from the Skate Park."
Yeah, I might use that. I might use that and sample it for the script
Nice.
for the jingle. If you're watching live at twitch.tv/streamsbadly, which is a place you can watch the video version of this podcast live, stick around. We have extra content after we record the video version of this podcast, but the podcast segment is ending. However, I do want to go out on a high note. I want to start as we ended. And I'm going to sing you the world-ending song, and Judd's not going to interrupt it this time so that I can clip it for the YouTube channel. Nice one. Cool. Okay. Let me see if I can do this while I've drunk 4 more beers. Here we go. Are you ready, folks? I'm going to sing you.
Go on, do it.
I'll sing you a little song. It goes like this. I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a a flame in your heart. In my heart I have but one desire, and that one is you. No other will do. I lost all bit. How does that bit go?
I've lost all ambition.
Okay, I'll
The
pick it up from
world
there.
will never change.
I'll pick it up from there. I've lost all ambition, the worldly acclaim. I just want to be the one you love. And with your admission that you feel the same, I'll have reached the goal I've been dreaming of. Believe me, I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your... Sing it with me.
Heart.
Welcome to the end of the world, folks. It ends in a fizzle, not a bang. Enjoy. It's a horrible end of reality. Bye.